Against all the odds and Manon saying it was impossible, I got a job in France, working with kids from the UK at a camp. I'm just going to be doing stuff in nature, like leading activities, and I'm really excited because
it's crazy because you see the whole time their plan was for them to move to France. So my apologies, was to move to Marseille, which of course is in France. But anyway, with that being said, and the whole idea was for him to get a job and for her to be a stay-at-home mum, for so therefore she can be more available for her child, and then she can build that mother-son relationship. And now they're finally there. They're finally obviously in a position where they've now moved out of her parents' home. Anthony's been able to get a job, but does any of this stuff satisfy Manon? Because we know that when it comes to Manon, trying to satisfy this woman, well, that is something that is always a freaking challenge.
I think they'll love the job, and it requires me to speak English. So
I know I said it's what I want, and I was thinking this day will have never come, but I've been like so worried. I'm in debt, no savings. It's a whole different game now. I have a couple.
So here's the thing, folks. The second that she started talking about that I'm in debt, that was the moment that I was like, yep, we are about to be in for a complaint. We're about to be in for a moan. She's about to start just, So let's get into that.
I'm not gonna be making money. I've always been living this my whole life.
For like
Now
1 month.
I feel I'm going to become someone that I've never was before and never wanted to be.
That's how you wanted me to make all the money so that you could do that before. You know, honestly, it's living here. Ben has gotten way closer. He comes up for kisses,
Oh, I know.
And none of these things really matter to her, really and truly. I mean, she does go off and say that, I just have to be content and I have to just, obviously adjust to the life that we're living now. Even though this is the life that necessarily I didn't want for myself pre to your existence. But the matter of the fact is, when you become a parent, you have to adjust things. Well, let me change that statement. When you become a parent, you're supposed to adjust things. But not everybody does that. Some people still go about their business and do whatever the hell they want to do. And anybody that's been through that type of lifestyle, you know exactly what I mean. But then nonetheless, though, the matter of the fact is that Anthony has finally now got a job. Does a job involve them obviously earning the same amount of money that she was earning, the money that she was bringing? Absolutely not. But does it allow them to live the idea that they were looking for? Yes, because he's got a job. He's obviously bringing up to pay the bills. And then also on top of that, she's able to now have a better relationship with her child, as they obviously said. But as you heard, they have no savings. And we know that when it comes to Manon, something that is very a must for her is to have savings, is to have money around her, so therefore she never feels poor again, so she never feels without again, because she never wants to go to that feeling that she had when she was growing up. So the second that was put into the conversation, I was like, you know what, she's definitely going to find a way to start working. She's definitely going to do something that's going to involve her obviously being a busy boy. Now listen, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with it, to be fair. I actually respect that mentality. I respect the mentality of where she feels the need to always be working. She feels the need to always be productive, feel like she's living and having a purpose of her own. I love that for her, because not many people have that. There's so many people who just sit at home and don't leave the house, sit at home and don't work, sit at home and etc, right? And the fact that she's like, no, I want to be a mum, but I also want to be productive. That is a fantastic trait to have. You know what I mean? That's something that I can't put it down for. But if you're gonna ask for something, don't get it and then still complain about it. Okay? Make it clear what you want. Do you see what I'm saying? But to be fair, is there anything wrong with her working from home and still being a parent? Absolutely not, because the ideas that she seems to have anyway, most of the time, involves her being at home and doing them online. She doesn't actually have to be actively outside and neglecting the child. But of course, at the same time, you can work at home and still neglect your child, because sometimes your eyes may be more on the work than it is on your child. So it's a matter of finding that balance. How can I be for my child as well as also be for work? Well, this is where things get interesting. Their son is old enough to be going to school. So of course, when he's at school, all she's got to do is do her work, and then the second school finishes, she goes and picks up her son and enjoys the rest of the evening with her son, being the mother that she wants to be. It's really not rocket science. And the crazy thing about it is that this is something they could have done where? Oh yeah, they could have done this whilst they were in LA. But of course, they chose going to Marseille was going to be the cure, or the thing that was going to help their situation. But with that being said, though, we're now going to move on to the next one. So let's talk a little bit about Jenny and Summit.
In order to make our cafe proper working, we have to adjust with mother.
No, I'm too old for this. I have to say, I can't have a boss.
Ella's
To be fair, I don't disagree with that statement. I think, you know, we should all get to an age where we look around and be like, you know what, yeah, like, yo, and plus she's retired, right? Especially when you're retired, why the hell do I have a boss? And the maddest thing about it is the boss that they're referring to is Summit's mum, which is crazy business. But anyway, we continue.
Going on here? I'm ready to get out of this craziness. I mean, it's only been a couple of weeks and mom's already exploding. Bosses.
Don't be a hypocrite now. When it comes to exploding, Jenny, this is something that you love to do every single episode. So yeah, let's just calm it down a little bit. It's just interesting because everything that Jenny has to say against Summit's mum is literally the definition of Jenny's character.
Around for the sake of the cafe? Like, what?
I just suggest you that if things impact you in a way that it make you mad, then try to avoid that situation.
I want the cafe to be successful because we need the income, but I'm not going to just follow mom's orders. That's not what I signed up for. I got to figure out a way to get us out of there.
I really hope that the things will be settled down enough.
Absolutely.
She's got to find a way to get themselves out of there, and that is out of Summit's parents' home. Listen, Jenny needs to understand that Summit is he's not moving. You two are set in stone. That's where you're going to be living now. You chose to marry someone, okay, who comes from a culture where it involves them living with their parents. But instead of respecting it, you want to come there and you want to say, nah. Not on my watch. We're going to disrupt this. But to be fair, it is nasty work, though, living under someone else's roof that you are older than. And you have to take orders from somebody that is younger than you. That's crazy business. Yeah, I couldn't do that. F rubbish. Nah, I couldn't do that. I struggle to take orders from people older than me, let alone people younger than me. Are you crazy? Yeah, not doing that. Especially when you've lived like such a long life in your own home with your own rules, you know. And I can imagine obviously how that can be a massive impact on Jenny's attitude and obviously her not wanting to said reasons. But here's the thing though. It has never been confirmed that Jenny is an alcoholic. But it has always been assumed by the viewership that she is an alcoholic, because it seems to me as if a drink is somewhere always around and she's always looking a bit. The question is though, I wonder if a part of her drinking is crazy, because in the first episode or second episode of this season, when they first moved in, Summit said that, oh yeah, she has the alcohol for her, but it's a part of her medicine. Okay, whatever you say. But anyway, I do wonder if a part of her drinking is purely because she's not happy in life, because she's actually quite stressed with the way life is going for her in India. Maybe she thought that she was going to go to India and have a better relationship than she's ever had in America. Maybe she thought she was going to date someone younger than her and she was going to have full control, and she finds out that that's not the case because she has to compete with his mother. You know, maybe this is why she spends some of her evenings, maybe every single day, who knows, pouring down that liquor down her throat. You never know. You never ever know, okay? But all I'm saying is, whether that be true or not for Jenny, bear this in mind, folks. Don't put yourself in a relationship that just isn't good for your physical and mental health. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you feel the need to, tells you a lot about you not being happy and tells you a lot about how you shouldn't be around that person anymore. A lot of people fear leaving someone, you know, because they fear being alone, fear having to restart, fear this and that, and they stick around in an environment with the wrong people, the wrong person, and in the end, that person is the person that ends up being the detriment of their poor health. And I hate to be extreme, but I've got to say as it is, but then this is something that sometimes can also lead up to, not the reason, but lead up has been one of the reasons why some people end up taking their own life, unfortunately. Let's just bear this in mind, because there's so many people that come from relationships, marriages, you know, and all of a sudden they end themselves while they're in that relationship. And that could just, and one of the reasons could be due to the fact that the person that they're with is somebody who they never felt they could actually ever go to speak to and actually be open to with, if you dig what I'm saying. So let's just bear this in mind. So if Jenny really is drinking, you know, and it is because she stressed this, end of the day, it's not Sammy's fault. It's not his family's fault. It's her fault for sticking around and not being vocal. The only thing that we can say maybe could be Sammy's fault is that maybe each time she speaks, everything that he says goes on everything that she says to him always goes on deaf ears, especially when it comes to the relationship with him wanting to live with his family and her not wanting that in any shape or form. Either way, these are things that sometimes we have to think about because we feel like these things are too extreme to think about, and we think, oh, it can never be that deep. But then all of a sudden one day something bad happens. And then we think, if only I took that seriously. Always take everything seriously, folks. Trust me when I tell you that. Even if people say you're miserable for it, you're grumpy for it, whatever, do it. Sometimes paranoia can be a good thing. But with that being said, though, let's move on to the next one itself in particular here. So, yes. Madeline and Luke.
He has cheated, but when he was younger, I can promise you, he hasn't even thought about cheating. He takes after me like that. I was like that. But when I found the right one, that was the end. I've never cheated on my wife.
I don't know how Luke's dad thought that this was going to go down well. I don't know how he thought this conversation was going to be translated. Talking about how your son was a cheater before and you was one as well. Basically, your son inherited your bad ways, but don't worry, because you was loyal to his mother, he's going to be loyal to Madeline. Ooh-wee, okay.
We are in a distant relationship, so the trust is so difficult to get, but so easy to last. You're never going to know exactly
That's
what
where your
the
lack of
other.
trust is eating at you.
It's
So do you think you could learn to trust him?
They think it's a process.
You can't ever say that to him anymore. It's off.
To be fair, I don't disagree with the dad in any shape or form. You know, you can't keep saying it's a process. You're literally getting married tomorrow and you're saying that the trust with you and Luke is a process. So why are you getting married? Nobody gets married whilst you're going through a process of healing from something that isn't good. No one should be getting married when you're healing from something that affected you because of the relationship. Okay, you're supposed to heal first and then decide whether you want to still be with that person or not. But nah, she wants to be marrying someone with the process. Here's the thing, she wants to be on this deed, but why the hell should she be on this freaking deed for this property if she's still going for the process of trusting him? Maybe he's going for the process of trusting her.
Jealousy is a terrible thing because it makes you distrust people even when there's no reason to distrust them. About you wanting to be on the deed on the property. Legally, and I'm not doing this, I'm not trying to cut you out, or I'm just telling you, you're not married yet. So legally, it's his.
You know what the maddest thing is as well? She wants to get this whole deed thing happening. She wants to put her name on the property before the marriage and all that kind of stuff. But does she not realize that you can always have your name added to things at some point? I'm pretty sure you can. I'm pretty sure you can always find a way to add someone's name to something. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... Yeah. I'm sure you can. But the thing is, though, you know I'll tell you what the other thing that's actually quite mad. So obviously Luke's trying to start a business with this thing. She wants a name on it, but why is she acting as if this is the only thing he's ever gonna make with her? Like, first and foremost, he said he's gonna put her name on one of the properties anyway. So she's gonna get a name on something. That's just that. Secondly, on top of that, who says that these two aren't gonna create other business in the future where he can have her name on it? Let's not forget, she had a salon because of him. The logic here is actually quite nuts, to be honest with you. It's quite greedy and stupid at the same time. Because let's be real, she knows that Luke is always going from business to business to business. Because he seems to create businesses and then they seem to flop. Either way, point being is just because he doesn't put you on this one, it doesn't mean that he can't put you on the next one. Let's just call it what it is. You see what I'm saying? So really and truly, this whole deed property nonsense, it's being made into a bigger issue than what it really is, in my opinion.
None of that. So don't put the pressure on him. He's under enough pressure.
Respect him and what is coming from him. But if we planning to have children, it's me like who want to protection our future too. Because I don't know, for example, one day.
If we have children, it's me wanting to protect their future as well. So you're saying that if you had a child of Luke and then you and Luke broke up, Luke would not want to protect the future of his children. Does she not understand that her name does not have to be on any of these things for these children to be protected? If he's a good man and he's going to be a good father, well, guess what? He's going to protect his kids with or without you. So really and truly, your name still doesn't have to be on it. Girls talking nonsense. You just want your name on it to protect yourself. It's just that simple. Stop bringing children that don't even exist into the question, into the picture.
Maybe he don't love me anymore, or I have something for my children.
Believe me, I understand that. But you're silly. You're silly thinking that. To give all that up for you. So all I'm trying to say is don't doubt his loyalty. He's got more to lose than you have.
To be fair, people should really stop saying that in relationships. I have more to lose. He or she has more to lose than you have. Hold on a minute. No one should go into a relationship, to a marriage, relationship, whatever, right, with this feeling of that I have more to lose. No. Because that means you're now saying that you matter more than that person. If I'm in a relationship with somebody and they say to me, well, I've got more to lose, I'm leaving. Because we're supposed to be equals. We're supposed to be one. You know, people always say that when you get married, you become one. In the UK, we always say your other half. So if I'm in a relationship with someone today, okay, and I'm speaking to let's say for example, you know, I'm in a relationship today, whether I'm married or not, okay, and then I go to an event with my friends or whatever, and usually my other half comes with, well, my partner usually comes with me. People would always say, "Where's your other half?" Because obviously, when we are together, we are one. When we are not, obviously, it's where's your other half. So point being is like, how can we feel like we are one if one is sacrificing more, or if it's being put out loud that, oh, I'm giving up this more? But let's not get it twisted, people, okay? It doesn't ever matter in a real relationship. It doesn't matter who is sacrificing more, because the matter of the fact is, if you've made the choice to sacrifice certain things to be with somebody, that is your choice. Nobody ever asks any one of us to sacrifice more than the other. If someone is doing that though, that's a problem. Because generally speaking, when we sacrifice things, it's a choice that we make. How many times will we look back on a relation, we'll be like, oh my God, I gave up so much for him. I did so much for her. And then this is what he or she had to do to repay me? Don't ever say those things. Because all those things that you gave up, all those things that you did for that person, you did them and you chose them by choice. It's just that simple. Because we all know this very simple thing. Do not do things in life expecting something in return. Do it because you want to. Simple as that. So this whole thing about blah, 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 shut the hell up. It doesn't matter. If your relationship is based on who's giving up more, you're not in a relationship. I'm telling you now, you're in some sort of transaction that involves XYZ. Bear that in mind. But let's continue.
No man alive would sacrifice what he sacrificed for you. For you.
Don't agree with that. This is not fair at all. Right now, he doesn't make me feel insecure about getting married to work tomorrow.
I mean, listen, it's crazy. Despite my whole rant, which I still 1000% agree with, maybe that's got a point. Maybe no man would sacrifice as much as he has for her. You never know. Maybe that is true. But does that mean that she should then be grateful for him? Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because guess what? All the things that he has decided to sacrifice for her is still by his choice. So it doesn't matter if no other man would ever do it for her. It doesn't really matter. I mean, don't get me wrong, if she takes it for granted, yes, it does matter. But what I'm saying, Luke can't walk away. His dad can't walk away and say, well, I can't believe he did all these things to you. No, you can't say that. Okay? But can she walk away and say, you know what? I actually had a good man there. He actually did this for me. He did that for me. He was actually so good for me. Yes, she can walk away and say those things that I can't believe I let that go. But at the same time, though, you can't blame yourself necessarily. Because sometimes you got to sit there and reflect and say to yourself, you know what? I did have a great thing going with this person. But I guess that person was in my life to just teach me, or show me that I can be loved in a certain way. I can be treated in a certain way. And this is something that I've got to understand and make sure that I can use as something that when it comes to looking for a new person in my life, I can bear these things in mind. Do you see what I'm saying? Because everything in life is a learning experience. Just because you had someone that was great for you and you realize all the great things it did for you, okay, it doesn't necessarily mean that you effed up. You can look at it that way, but it's not the best way. You can look at it as, you know what, I guess that person came into my life at a time when I just wasn't ready for them. But they've taught me how I can be loved. They've taught me how or what I should look for in somebody. And they've taught me what kind of bar I should really set for myself when it comes to being with someone who I'm going to be with in the foreseeable. Bear this in mind, folks. Everything that we do is a lesson. But yeah, some of these comments, ludicrous behavior. Ludicrous. Ah, you crazy. But nonetheless, though, let's move on to Dylan. Ah, dear Lord.
Dear, will you marry me?
Yes.
It's a shame, sweetie. Just so relieved, even though things aren't perfect, she's made a massive step moving here to Australia. So I just feel like if I can give Patia a solid commitment, we'll fade away, she'll feel more.
I am so sorry. I didn't mute myself, so when you guys were hearing that, you was hearing an echo from, oh, I do apologize. But listen, let's talk about this one real quick. Let's talk about this one. Broski, you proposed for one reason and one reason only. Why did he propose? Well, let me show you.
More confident in our relationship, and things will work a lot better. We'd stay here with me in Australia.
Yeah.
And that is why he proposed. She said to him that, listen, I'm going to go back to Las Vegas to go back to the strip clubs and so I can earn some money and pay off this debt. Because, well, you're not proposing to me here. You don't want to marry me, so I might as well go back and clear my shits rather than stay here, be with you. And what does he do? He goes and proposes to her simply to prevent her from going back to Vegas. He didn't propose to her because he was ready. No. Proposed because he didn't want her to go back. Some people may see it as a shining armor. No, he's an idiot. Complete idiot. This relationship isn't going to work. Point blank, period. I have nothing else to say in this flipping stupidity. With that being said, let's move on to the last one. And this one right here, I guess a lot of people was expecting this to happen. But let's get into Chloe and Johnny. Here comes Johnny. No. Let's not do that. No. This Johnny's a clown.
Thing I found was a message he sent to a girl saying that he missed her. And then I kept digging, and it was like 3 or 4 just emojis to other girls, like weird messages from this one girl on social media. The girl had actually been messaging me for months saying that Johnny, and I did my investigating, and he had actually been messaging that girl while we were filming interviews.
It's funny though, because when she says these things, she says them as if she should be surprised. When she was revealing the information, I was like, well, duh. It's been clear from the get-go this man has never loved you. It's been clear that he's been having fun with other people. Damn girl, you told us on the very first episode this man already cheated you. He flew a whole woman to Florida. Come on now, don't mess me with the BS.
Literally when I'm this much distance away from him, asking her to send nudes, asking, that he missed her, that he missed having sex with her. And then the more I kept digging, I found a whole sexual interaction with a different girl in May, which of course is long ago.
Yeah, long ago, right? Long ago. It doesn't matter when it was. Was you two in a situation at the time? That's all that really matters, regardless of when it happened. It's not looking good.
And he had lied and said he never had been with her, and there's a whole video. And then to make it worse,
when she said there's a whole video he had been with her, I was thinking, what? So let me get this straight. Broski messages women, he asks for nudes, but he's also recording himself when he's actually in the action with them as well. Damn, I would hate to see his laptop, man. He's got catalogs, clearly catalogs. Him and his friends probably compare. Look what I did to this one. It's so messed up and disgusting, right? But it wouldn't surprise me if there's people out there who do these things. I mean, hell, there's people that we see always get caught having things that they shouldn't have on their laptops, their computers. So trust me, him and his friends probably have this little competition going on for all we know. But let's continue.
first, when I caught him and I took photos of the phone and I'm with you, I'm absolutely disgusted. Then the only thing he said was, you went behind my phone behind my back.
Pure narcissistic, controlling type response. I've heard that one so many times. When I speak to women sometimes and they tell me about, yeah, this is what happened. But this is the thing though, folks, right? Even though what he's saying is pure gaslighting, there's still truth behind it. You know, there is this saying. There is this saying that women predominantly go out of their way to hurt themselves because they always go snooping and then they always find things that they shouldn't be finding. All right. But here's the thing though, right? Sometimes when people go snooping around people's phones, it's not because that person has actually done anything wrong to them. Sometimes it's because they have jealousy and trauma from the past. So therefore they have to snoop around. And the maddest thing about it is they can do snooping on someone's phone and someone's devices and find absolutely nothing on it. But then they will still continue snooping because they have this paranoia from a previous situation. That is not healthy. And that is where that phrase, some women go out, some women cause their own problems. Okay, because they're snooping. But then you get the ones that do snoop and actually generally do find something that is legit. You know what I mean? Okay. I mean, listen. If you're gonna go through someone's phone, just be prepared to be pissed. That's just the grand scheme of it. I feel like you're probably always gonna find something that's gonna irritate you, right? But anyway, let's continue, man.
I picked up my whole entire life to be here. So I don't want to be around him. Like, I don't want to see him. He has not once asked if I had a place to stay, if I was okay, if I needed anything.
You know what though? That's crazy work though. I mean, to be fair, should she be surprised? No. It's clear that they obviously didn't really give a two F's about her, because if he did, well then they wouldn't be in this predicament, you see what I'm saying? But it is crazy though, you know. He knows that she's in a whole different country. But then again, he knows that her friends are there. Don't get me wrong, should he be asking if she's okay? Absolutely yes. without a shadow of a doubt. You know, it's not nice for someone to be in a foreign place and not have their safety net around them.
Anything? Nothing. He had texted me and don't want to be alone near you. Like, I don't want to look at you. He goes, okay, I'm gonna throw it out. It's like mean. It's so mean.
So in a nutshell, he basically told her that he's gonna throw out all over her. If you don't come pick up your clothes and stuff, I'm just gonna throw it outside. So he's had no sympathy whatsoever towards her in any shape or form. But to be fair, that does bring the question though: why does he dislike her so much though? Is there something that we don't know that she's done to him that's really put him in a position where even throughout this time when he's been caught, he's gonna now just go full on pure mean mode? I guess sometimes, but then again, if he is a narcissist, if he is an a-hole, you know, generally speaking, then I guess he's always gonna behave this way no matter what, isn't it? Regardless of whether she's done anything to him or not. So yeah, there is that part. I mean, listen, to be honest with you, I'm just happy that their relationship has come to an end, because boy, we knew that it was never going to work from the beginning. It was just a matter of waiting until it was finally going to explode, and this is where we are now. It's just that simple. But hey, the question is though, and this is the key question: will Chloe learn from this experience? Because she didn't learn previously, because her friends warned her about sticking around with this guy. Her mum even tried to, not warn her, but mum tried to pull her away anyway, you know what I mean? And she wasn't willing to listen, because she's a spoiled little brat, and she thought that she was going to change this man. She thought that she was going to be different. Damn. Yeah. Then she found out that's not the case. Well, with that being said, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, my lovely peoples. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I am out. Peace.